Eli here, and today we have our video class. Yay! So, yesterday on the 20th, we had the first test of the second quarter. We had our P1. I wish you guys, I hope that you guys have had good luck. And today we are going to study, we're going to correct the final exercises from the previous lesson, the one before the review. And after that, we're going to study a little bit about advertising campaigns. All right. So without further ado, let's get started. And we get started right here on page 73 in our grammar focus. Here, the homework you guys had was basically to understand the passive and active voice. That was one of the most asked contents in the test. And here for this first exercise, you had to tell me if it was a passive or active voice. My cat Shannon getting into the class here. So here's the resolution for you guys: passive, passive, active, passive, active, passive. I have already reviewed this in the previous lesson, so I'm not gonna give so much attention to this. A little bit of lag here. Here's better. Well, the million-dollar question is, why do you think passive voice was generally used in the text? And basically because this kind of text focuses in the information on facts rather on the doer. And we know that the active voice is the one that we use when we want to mention the doer of something. For example, I adopted my cat. I adopted Shannon. But if I was going to do this phrase in the passive voice, that would be Shannon was adopted by me, or Shannon was adopted in 2018, when I don't mention the doer of the action, right? Shannon, yay, Shannon. That's Michael Shannon Little. Yeah, Shannon. There you go. Match the rules of use to the examples below when the fact is more important than who did it. For example, Bolsonaro was elected in 2018. The fact that he was elected in 2018 is actually more important than the fact that he was elected by the people, because that is pretty obvious, right? Ethanol from Brazil is exported to the US. That would be exactly, is exported from the US. The doer of this, who imports, like Petrobras, etc., whatever, this is not relevant in this phrase. Wind power is used all over the world nowadays. Same thing. A Picasso painting was stolen last night. In this case here, the doer in the situation is not important because I basically don't know. Like, if I knew who stole it, I could say like Fulano stole Picasso's painting, but I don't know. So in this case, I'm just gonna say that it was stolen. The Picasso's picture was stolen. Something should be done about the traffic jams. Something. What? I don't know. But who should do it? Well, whatever. But I know that something must be done because the traffic jam is irritable. And to state rules, smoking is not permitted in closed places like bars and discos, which doesn't actually apply to the reality, mainly at discos, because people actually smoke a lot. This special pasta is made from durum, semolina, grains, and eggs. All firearms must be declared to the airline at the check-in, and finally, to present a process, sugarcane cuttings are planted in fields by workers or mechanical planters. In order for some cane to grow, the seeds must be planted in a well-drained soil, right? Here we have the resolution with the verb to be promoted, talking about sustainability and sustainable energy. They're saying here that sustainable energy is a form of energy which is considered sustainable, meaning that the usage of such energy can potentially keep up well into the future without causing harmful repercussions for the future generations. Well, we already studied this, so I'm not going to give so much emphasis. And I'm going here to the second part of the lesson today. You have the resolution here for those who had problems doing. You can check it out. You can copy it if you need. And here we have some topics to debate. Those part of those I asked in the test. And finally, here we go for lesson 3, which is the lesson of today. All right, and that's the thing and talk about it. You could think and talk this with one of your classmates through WhatsApp or Instagram. Debate this. You can debate this with me if you want. But basically, you have probably come across posters, billboards, and ads with some kind of public complaint, such as Zika Zero, or related to health issues. Many of these campaigns are supported by the government, agencies, or NGOs, big corporations, etc. Have you ever responded to a direct or indirect community campaign? Well, have any of these campaigns ever responded to a direct or indirect community campaign? Have any of these campaigns ever made you think or change your behavior? Let's check it out, some of the campaigns that the book is portraying here for us. The first one here that we have is Vote Earth. Switch off your lights for Earth Hour, Saturday, March 28th, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. This is a campaign about the economy of energy. And once every year, they ask you guys, everybody, to basically turn off their lights from 1 hour, from 8:30 to 9:30 every March. This is actually really nice. I have already done this a couple of times, and it's really simple to do. And you feel that you have the feeling that you're helping with something and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. Here, use energy saving light bulbs. Greenpeace. It's actually really nice. Use energy saving earth. And these light bulbs, they are with an advertising of the Greenpeace. Greenpeace is one of the biggest organs that help with those environmental issues right there. Let me change here. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this one here because I don't want to give you spoilers, guys. Because here on page 75, so let me write here, page 75 is homework for you guys. All right. Why? Basically, you have here some advertisings. Here we have this one of Greenpeace, say no to nuclear energy. With this picture here, not gonna give my opinion because I want you guys to think about it. Down below here we have cheap and priceless. A car, which is not expensive, versus a priceless, almost extinct tortoise. And if TATA builds its port in Dumra, Olive Ridley turtles could pay the ultimate price. Probably a campaign of preservation of animals, right? Down below here, we have our planet could be called water. But remember, only 3% is drinkable. We call our planet Earth, but 70% of the planet it's based upon water. So in this advertising, they try to say that we could call our planet water instead of Earth. But we say that only 3% of this water is actually drinkable, it's potable. So we actually have to preserve the drinkable water that we have, right? Down below there we have one about trash, if I'm not wrong. From our planet's point of view, there is no throwing garbage out because there is no out. So they're representing that the expression throw the garbage out actually doesn't apply to the planet because all the garbage actually stays in the planet. And let's remember what we already studied about microplastics, when they take like hundreds of years to decompose in the nature. And finally, about renewable energy sources, mean nothing unless we renew our energy consumption habits. Because one of the biggest problems with energy is that people consume too much of it, right? And here, guys, you have basically a couple of questions to answer. You can answer who is the target public for the ads, who were they directed to, what can you say about the organizations that released the ads, and who are they? Some of them are really easy to find out, like Greenpeace, TATA. What's the primary goal of each ad? What are the ad diversity goals? What do the ads have in common? What are their differences? All right. Is identify some of the textual strategies used by the advertising and its purpose, and what verb constructions are used and why. Are there any language constructions used mostly written text, and you gotta give examples of those. And what is the main goal of each ad? What are they about? Can you identify the sponsor of the campaign? The sponsor is the one who is giving money to the campaign, and what's the main goal of the advertiser? And identify slogans and the main texts. Are they effective? And explain why they are effective. All right, guys. So this homework, you're gonna picture your book and post the homework in the section down there. All right, guys. So everybody posting their homeworks this time. Here, guys, before we finish this, just gonna tell you that page 78 is going to be 75, 76, 75, 76, and 78 is going to be a homework as well. In the page 78, no, let's wait a little bit. I'm not gonna get you guys this week, page 78. Why? Because this is going to be a group work. So I rather wait a little before give you guys this group work. I'm gonna get you guys a little bit of time, but I'm gonna read for you guys this text about writing a slogan and a message to community campaign. You're basically going to get together in groups and create a slogan, a message, a banner, and advertising, anything like that. And let me read this for you. Here you have some brands like Coke, Wikipedia, HP, Invent, Nike, LG, Nokia, McDonald's, Nokia, Walmart, and Gillette. And here, let me zoom this in. Many textual strategies are used by advertisers in order to sell products and services to or convey ideas. The latter of which commonly called a public notice, ads are meant to propagate and reach their targets. Usually, they make their effect through the use of both verbal and non-verbal language, a mix of written text with photographs, drawing pictures, sounds, or a combination of both in music and so forth. Right? The power of association of a slogan to a logo is actually really important when you connect a slogan to a logo. One of our students, Pedro Stefan, he works with this actually. And some companies are famous worldwide for their slogans. Slogans are memorable phrases often used in conjunction with company logos and in advertising campaigns. It determines a company's or project's long-term success. It is the same for a community or public campaign. The campaign is effective if the target audience retains the message. So a slogan and the main message of a campaign must be chosen carefully. When you do it, three basic questions must be answered. Who are you? What do you do? And what is your unique way of doing? Here are some examples of famous slogans that I already read for you guys. And here we have some writing tips for creating a slogan. Keep it simple, so don't try to use unknown words unless it's part of the strategy. A slogan is only effective if the audience can understand it quickly. Slogans absolutely should not go over the sentence observe the examples. You can use rhymes, parodies, or famous lines, part of the slogans, proverbs, metaphors, idioms, etc. So be prepared, guys. I'm gonna get you guys a little bit of time, so you don't actually have to do the page 78 yet. But next week in the live lesson, I'm gonna talk about this new classwork that you guys have. So for next week, basically just the homeworks of page 75 and 76 about the campaigns, and then in the next class we'll talk about slogans and advertising campaigns. I stay here and catch you guys next time. Later.